Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Pretty robust one today, especially for a Friday. Fridays are often a little light. Let me start with one that's making me laugh. From stuff.co.New Zealand, your home for comedy news, Southern tourism company Real NZ is calling foul on a campaign encouraging foreign citizens to meddle in New Zealand's Bird of the Century vote. John Oliver has posted billboards encouraging support for the Putukitiki, hope I said that right, on the streets of Tokyo, Paris, London, Mumbai, Brazil, and a small town in the U.S. state of Wisconsin. You only need an email to vote on this, so thousands of people have followed John Oliver's lead, giving the endangered bird, also known as the Australasian crested grebe, a chance of flying away with the wind. I love the copywriting here stuff. However, the Real NZ crew says the campaign's not over until the Kakariki Karaka sings. This is not an easy article for me to do. You see, Real NZ has spent a year fundraising in support of the Kakariki Karaka, raising $175,000, unsure which currency that's in, but it's still a lot of money, right? Now it wants New Zealanders to join its campaign. Real NZ Chief Revenue Officer Scott McNabb has named his campaign Dear John. McNabb said, "We simply cannot allow one international check to commandeer our efforts, so we wanted to send a little message to John Oliver. The tiny but mighty amongst us need all the support they can get. We encourage all Kiwis, or rather New Zealanders, to get their votes in, whichever feather they fancy." This competition started in 2005. It was run by Forest and Bird, who decided in 2023 it would seek to find the Bird of the Century to celebrate its 100th year. That's silly fun. All right, Lewis Black is going to retire from touring. Are we all getting old? Ron White did this, Bill Engvall did this, now Lewis Black retiring, and I don't know, I guess this is a thing now. Comedians declare they're retiring. Lewis Black is now 75, and he says his dates at the end of next year will be his final touring dates. Lewis shared this news on his podcast, also posted the clip on Instagram saying, "I've said this to people and it doesn't seem to get through to them. What do you mean you're retiring? Listen to the end of the sentence. I am retiring from touring. Really, I'm not making this up. I'm not going to come back and tour again. I'm going through to the end of December next year. Will I continue to perform? Yes, but I will literally perform from time to time. If you want to see me on the road, you better hurry. Final tour date's coming soon." It's already been 4 years since Gary Gulman's The Great Depression premiered on HBO. Well, Gary Gulman has a new special to debut on Max. This one called Born on Third Base. In Born on Third Base, Gary Gulman offers up his insights on a range of topics from growing up poor to pretentious suffixes, while chronicling his childhood experiences with free school lunch programs and questionable dental care. The stand-up makes an incisive swipe or two at billionaireism. Gary Gulman said, "I'm thrilled to be working with the Max team again, along with Conan, who I've admired for 30 years exactly. Very honored and grateful to have this special. Is a doozy. Can't wait for people to say nice things about it." Conan, one of the producers on this. Dina Hashem has a new special out today on Amazon Prime Video. This one called Dark Little Whispers. Let's listen to a clip, huh?
My dad left when I was very young. If you see a woman holding a microphone, her dad is gone. Men have problems too, right? In fact, clap if you're a straight white man right now, please. Clap if you're... Thank you, yeah. Did it feel nice to be heard right there? You know, we don't hear enough about the bigotry against quiet people. We just need more voices raised about it because we can't do it ourselves.
Dina was asked what draws quiet people to get behind a microphone and start doing comedy. She said, "I don't think quiet people are really quiet. I think it's usually they have a lot of thoughts going on, but they either have anxiety or didn't grow up in a place where they felt safe communicating with the people around them, and so they just kept everything bottled up. That's why something like stand-up can be so revelatory. It was the first time, at least for me, that I was able to find a place to express things that was comfortable to me, where I was immediately rewarded for it. With the internet, you realize it's impossible to really come to an understanding with people. With comedy, there's a little treat for them. They get to laugh as well. There's a reward for listening. And so it breaks through to people in a way that few things do. I hesitate to call it art, but it's like that. To really change someone's mind, you have to do it in an oblique way." She was asked if there were topics that scare her, and her answer, "I guess it's tricky with the religious stuff because a lot of my jokes about the way I grew up tend to be sort of skewering religion. There's a risk of the wrong type of audience hearing that and then using it as an excuse to be prejudiced or racist. I guess my fear is being misinterpreted in a way that ends up hurting people. I'd never want someone to hear my jokes about Islam and then be like, see, those people are bad. So it's a tricky line. But I also don't want to censor myself and deny the experience that I had. All these stories I tell are true. There's obviously nuance to it, and that's hard to communicate with each joke. You just have to hope that people are listening with good faith. Sebastian Maniscalco has a new show called Bookie. This will be on Max Thursday, November 30th. Max dropped the trailer. Let's listen. And the guest star in this scene is Charlie Sheen. You were correct here.
What if I make this right with some baseball memorabilia? Guys, I've got Babe Ruth's autopsy report.
I'm going to tell you something I never told a client ever. You shouldn't bet on sports.
Bookie, Thursday, November 30th on Max. 2 episodes out that day. Bookie stars Sebastian Maniscalco as Danny, a Los Angeles bookie who's struggling to stay afloat as he faces down the impending disruption of his business as California looks to legalize sports gambling. Seems like that would be a good idea for a show, and it's correctly cast. Now, I was thinking about Sebastian. Earlier in the year, he was pretty hot, and then was the movie this year around Easter? Sebastian has cooled off a little bit, but this feels like right person, right show, right TV network. I know it's Max streaming. Don't bog down on that. But yeah, I think this one would work. We also got a trailer for Eddie Murphy's Candy Cane Lane. Quick clip here.
Everybody listen. This is important. I'm going to show you guys something. And when I show you what I'm going to show you, don't freak out.
In Eddie Murphy's Candy Cane Lane, which I'll tell you the description in a second, this screams Adam Sandler to me. I don't know why this isn't an Adam Sandler movie. This screams Sandler. Candy Cane Lane follows a man on a mission to win his neighborhood's Christmas decoration contest. Is that not a Sandler movie? When the man inadvertently makes a deal with a mischievous elf who brings the 12 days of Christmas to life, wreaking havoc on the town. Oh no. That one will be on Amazon December 1st. The presidential debate Wednesday night touched into the comedy world a little bit. Jimmy Kimmel joked Chris Christie, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Tim Scott. It's a who's who of who has no chance to beat Donald Trump. Fallon, it was quite a night. There were 5 candidates on stage, 3 moderators asking questions, and 2 people watching at home. Kimmel with an absolutely terrible joke again. I'm sure as a professional joke teller, he told it much better than I'm about to, but this is terrible. Putting the Republican debate on opposite the CMA Awards, it makes no sense. It's like putting lasagna up against a Swedish meatball. That is terrible. But he redeems himself with this one. But for these 5 Republicans, the stakes were higher than the lifts in a pair of Ron DeSantis' boots. Love it. Nice, simple joke. Good premise. Not too harmful. Great. No buzz on Sarah Silverman hosting The Daily Show this week. Guess she's not throwing heat on the Israel-Hamas war, but not really seeing anything out of The Daily Show. I'm surprised by that. The debate also mentioned Joe Rogan. Vivek Ramaswamy said, think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk, who would have 10 times the viewership. Politics aside, that notion of a debate with anybody debating being hosted by Rogan, Musk, and Tucker Carlson, that probably would do 10 times the viewership. So I don't think that notion is crazy. It is called show business. Would you like to own the Late Show with David Letterman marquee? You know, the blue and yellow one that was outside the Ed Sullivan Theater? Well, enter a sweepstakes benefiting Habitat for Humanity. For a donation of $10 or more, anyone can enter the sweepstakes at giveawaydave.com until December 31st. The grand prize also includes a trip to New York City to meet David Letterman and Paul Shaffer. Johnny Mac's got yet another clip for you today. Let's listen to Dave and Paul.
Hi, everybody. I'm Giveaway Dave, and this is my friend Giveaway Paul.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Paul. Giveaway Dave, Giveaway Paul. Whoa, what's going on? Well, we're giving something away.
That's what I was hoping you would say.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's part of the old marquee that was on the Ed Sullivan Theater building forever, and it's huge. Says The Late Show with David Letterman. And not only that, we'll get it to your home.
We're all getting older, man. Dave looks old with the big beard. And I noticed Shaffer is doing a little of that esh thing that older people do sometimes with, I don't know if some teeth work had done. Not making fun of Paul, just observing. The Grammy nominations will be out this morning. I'll discuss that on Monday's podcast. I'm always fascinated by who gets nominated for Best Comedy Album. And if you've listened the last few years, you know I get my nose in a crinkle about what is an actual comedy album and what is really just a Netflix special. So we'll see what comes out on the list. Let me look at my list of the top 25 of the year and see if I can guess here in advance. Chris Rock will get nominated for that live special. That was a big deal. John Mulaney will get nominated for his special because there's so much press around that. Jim Gaffigan almost always gets nominated. And then let's see, Marin, Santino, Kevin Hart, Nate Bargatze, nice safe choice. All right, we'll see what they come out with. I'll talk about it on Monday. It is the weekend of the Flyover Comedy Festival. That's happening in St. Louis this weekend. Some of the performers, Janelle James, Sheng Wang, Jeff Ross. And what I like about these guys, they know how to do a schedule. They must listen to the podcast and be like, oh, Johnny Mac will hate us if we just put things in alphabetical order. Why don't we put things where he can look by time? They have a wonderful, beautiful grid at flyovercomedyfest.com/schedule. You can even download a PDF version. Do you know how happy that makes a podcast host? I can look at this in all one spot. We can even play the What Should We Go See game. Yes, 7 o'clock. There are 3 shows. We're going to go see Zach Zimmerman. And I'm intrigued at 11:30 tonight, the karaoke after party at the Improv Shop Bar. No real big names here today. Tomorrow, Jeff Ross, Janelle James, Shane Torres. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Meanwhile, the New York Comedy Festival continues. They also have a website that goes by date order, although they don't have a nice grid. I think everybody needs to do a nice grid, make this easy on Johnny Mac. So I'm on the New York Comedy Festival website here, babbling as I scroll down live, as you listen to me babble as I scroll down. I finally gotten to the 11:10 part. Let's see what's happening tonight. Steve O's Bucket List with live Q&A at the Gramercy Theater. It's 6:30. Donnell Rawlings at the Hard Rock at 7. Brett Goldstein, Second Best Night of Your Life. Great title at the Beacon at 7. Jesselnick, 7 o'clock. Carnegie Hall. Wow. Michelle Wolf, Town Hall, 7 o'clock. Wow. A really funny titled America's Next Top Bottoms at Club Cumming at 7:30. Some of the performers there are Mary Beth Barone and Sabrina Wu. Bill Burr at the Garden at 8 o'clock. And I think that's the Garden. Second City Live, 9:30 at Chelsea. Donnell has a second show at 9:45. Attell and Friends at Town Hall at 9:45. Tim Dillon at Carnegie Hall at 9:45. Zach Schiffman has a show called Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour. That's at 10 o'clock at the Littlefield. Joel Kim Booster at the Bell House at 10. Boy, what a great night, huh? What would you even go see? Corielli, Pete Corielli, my friend. That's why I just said Corielli. Pete Corielli at the Gramercy at 10:30. Absolutely great night. I'm going to go with the Daily Beast recommendations. They say go see Tim Dillon and Anthony Jeselnik at Carnegie Hall. 2 back-to-back shows. You don't have to move. Great venue. I know you're passing on Burr and whoever else I just mentioned, but that would be the move tonight. Jeselnik, then Tim Dillon. Depending on the news cycle, since I've recorded this, it looks like the actors' strike is over. A new deal reportedly comes 118 days after the actor strike began. Reported deals to go to the National Board for approval today. Trevor Noah's podcast, What Now with Trevor Noah, is out. The first guest is The Rock. Trevor said it's fascinating to speak to the person who was trying to raise money for the Maui wildfires and then experienced the backlash he did in a way that some people completely understood and other people completely didn't. What's that like from the inside? Has the person processed the information? What do they think about it? Haven't had a chance to listen to that one, but like I said yesterday, I really like Trevor Noah. Joe Coy is taping his special today and tomorrow at the King's Theater in Brooklyn. Joe Coy is signed to do 2 more stand-up specials with Netflix. I guess this is one of them. And that is your comedy news for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your shows. If you like the show, tell somebody about it. They might like it too. See you tomorrow.